I can still pinpoint the exact moment I realized something was wrong. It wasn't the late nights at the office or the sudden hint of a new perfume. It was her tone whenever she mentioned him. Mark from marketing. Mark said this. Mark helped me with that report. The curve of her lips as she spoke about him didn't feel like ordinary office chatter anymore. Emily and I had been married 8 years. We met in college, built a life together from scratch, shared rent, dreams, and side jokes, even a stubborn old coffee maker that sputtered more than it brewed. She wasn't just my wife. She was my best friend, the one person I thought I could trust completely. At first, the signs were subtle. Late-night texts, muted phone calls, new clothes worn only to work. I told myself I was imagining things, that I didn't want to become one of those jealous husbands who snoop and accuse. But that uneasy feeling in my gut wouldn't go away. One evening, while she showered, I picked up her phone. No passcode. My hands shook as I opened her messages. There was long chats with Mark. Nothing explicit, but every line cut deep. Flirty jokes, private references. You make the office bearable. Don't tell Ethan. He'll get jealous smirking face. Throwing a kiss to my chest tightened something inside me. I closed the phone and sat in silence, the sound of running water masking the sound of my heart breaking. I didn't confront her that night. I needed to be sure. Maybe I was overreacting. Maybe it was harmless. But deep down, I already knew. The next morning, she kissed me goodbye like always, that new perfume lingering in the air. I watched her car disappear and knew I couldn't ignore it any longer. 2 days later, I left work early, claiming I was sick, and drove to her office. I parked nearby and waited. Around 4 o'clock, I saw her through the cafe window next to her building. She was sitting across from Mark, laughing, the same laugh that used to belong to me. He leaned close, whispered something, and she blushed, touching his arm lightly. My stomach turned. Then she looked up and saw me. Her face went pale, all color draining instantly. I didn't move, didn't yell. I just met her eyes and let her see the pain, the betrayal, the quiet fury there. She hurried outside, voice trembling. Ethan, what are you doing here? I could ask you the same thing. I said evenly, team meeting. Her mouth opened, but nothing came out. Mark stayed inside, pretending to check his phone. It's not what it looks like, she finally said, glancing everywhere but at me. Oh, really? Because from here, it looks exactly like what it looks like. Her jaw tightened. You went through my phone. That's what you're upset about. I asked, stepping closer. Not the months of hidden messages and secret lunches? For a moment, she looked ready to argue. Then her shoulders slumped. I just needed attention, she admitted quietly. You've been distant lately, Ethan. Always tired, always busy. That excuse, so predictable, so convenient, hit harder than the betrayal itself. So it's my fault? I asked. No, that's not what I meant, she whispered. You didn't have to say it. I interrupted. You already decided the rules didn't apply to you. Tears filled her eyes, but it was too late. Something inside me had cracked beyond repair. People nearby started glancing our way, pretending not to notice. I turned before she could reach for me. Finish your coffee, Emily, I said. Don't let me interrupt your little office romance. Then I walked to my car. She didn't follow. That night, she came home late. The silence between us felt heavier than any argument we'd ever had. I sat on the couch while she lingered near the doorway like a stranger in her own house. Can we talk? She asked softly. About what? I said, about what you saw. About us. I didn't move. You want to explain how months of secret messages and coffee dates fit into us? It wasn't an affair, she said quickly, voice trembling. It wasn't physical. I swear it was stupid. I liked the attention. I liked feeling wanted again. I didn't mean to hurt you. I finally looked at her. You didn't mean to get caught, I said. That sentence cut through the room. She broke down crying. But I didn't comfort her. Something inside me had gone numb. The next day, she sent pages of apologies, explanations, promises. I didn't respond. I wrote one line instead. Trust is like glass. Emily, once it's cracked, you can still see through it, but it's never the same again. For weeks, we lived like ghosts in the same house. No warmth. She tried everything. Therapy, special dinners, little surprises. But every time I looked at her, I saw that moment reflected in my mind. The cafe window, her smile meant for someone else, the way it used to be just for me. One Friday, I came home to her suitcase by the door. She looked drained, defeated. "I'm with my sisters for a while," she said. "Maybe space will help." I just nodded. "Maybe." She paused, waiting for me to ask her to stay. I didn't. When she closed the door, the house finally felt honest. A few weeks later, she texted, asking to come back and start over. I never replied. It's strange. You think the hardest part is catching them, but it isn't. The real pain comes afterward. Waking up each day knowing the person who once made you feel safe is now just a story about betrayal. Sometimes I drive past that cafe, the windows still spotless, perfectly reflecting the street. Every time I see it, I remember that day, her face, her shock, my silence. That was the moment I stopped being a husband who trusted without question. That was the moment she realized what she had broken.